Look at the ice surface here at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, where a big-time high school matchup comes your way tonight on the prep between the home squad Eaglets of Orchard Lake St. Mary's and the top-ranked team in Division I, the Shamrocks of Catholic Central. Great to have you with us here. Get you set up for this one between two of the very best high school programs in the great state of Michigan. Ben Holden, Fred Pletch. Fred will be down here in the penalty box. He'll be working as our analyst from ice level. Fred, this is a great matchup. These teams play earlier this year, but a little bit different situation here. Smaller ice surface, a game that Catholic Central won back in early January 3-1.
Yeah, that was January 7th on the big sheet at USA Hockey Arena, the 200 by 100 foot. Urbane with a couple of goals for the Shamrocks that night. And when you talk to Brandon Kalnicki, the Catholic Central coach, he says Orchard Lake St. Mary's always has a good skating team. So this is going to be an up and down affair, maybe not trading chances up and down, but both teams able to get up the ice.
And both teams have the same mindset. They want to get up and down the ice. They want to put a hard forecheck on one another, and they want to make life miserable when they're trying to bring the puck up ice. As for Catholic Central, they'd won 20 straight games to start the season. They suffered their first loss over the weekend in Trenton.
And sometimes that's not such a bad thing. They lost to another state team, Notre Dame Academy of Green Bay, and no matter how well a team's going, a coach, oftentimes a loss isn't the worst thing in the world because it's an opportunity for his message to get recentered with the players in the room if it was growing a little stale.
And for Brian Cleno and his team, they're coming in winners of their last 6 games, and they have found a way to address an area that they were having some issue with in January, and that's playing the full 3 periods. They've done a great job of that in the last 6.
Yeah, when you talk to Coach Clenow, he says, they've won 6 in a row. They have just 6 losses the entire season. He says, we've been in every game, can't quibble with the effort, but what he wants to do is make sure it's a full 60 minutes, in this case, full 51-minute effort. And that's all you can ask for this time of year. This is the time of year all the systems are down. It's a matter of execution.
Each team has just 4 games left in the regular season, then it's playoff time. Fred Pletch has the best seat in the house tonight. He'll be our game analyst tonight. I'm going to head up top of the call of the game with Fred right after this short timeout here from Orchard Lake St. Mary's between Catholic Central and Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Everywhere you look this time of year, people are running, and that's a great thing because running is an excellent exercise, especially for your cardiovascular and musculoskeletal systems. But the question is, are you running a safe running program? All too often, people are hobbled by things like shin splints and patellar tendonitis. But luckily, simple things like stretching and warm-up, the right running shoes, and realistic weekly mileages can keep you in your running game. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
Every day is sweet when we're serving you Blizzard treats. Like M&M's, cookie dough, Reese's, and new Oreo fudge brownie. All made with our world-famous vanilla soft serve. Thanks for being our fans for all these years. And here's to many more. DQ, happy tastes good.
Are you prepared to be transformed into a better version of yourself? Shaped into a force that others can't imagine. We are part of something bigger. A force that never quits. America's Navy, forged by the sea. Check us out at Navy.com.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic students can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stand should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game. We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while maintaining a high level of respect for all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game.
And welcome back in. We're inside of the ice arena here at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Ben Holden, Fred Pletch. Fred, you've got that great seat down there, and anything specifically you're going to watch early on in this one?
Yeah, I'm going to see who's going to dictate in terms of speed, and that's my second concern. My first concern is to make sure I make a priority out of something that every coach tells every defenseman that's ever played hockey. Keep your head on a swivel down here, right?
Yes, great vantage point that Fred's got there.
It is awesome.
Orchard Lake St. Mary's coming off the ice in the Reds tonight. And the second meeting between these two teams, talked about it a little bit in the open, a 3-1 victory for Brandon Kalanicky and his team, an empty net goal late in that hockey game. And these two programs have played for years, back and forth, Catholic League rivals in other sports. Catholic Central, 20 wins, 1 loss. Orchard Lake St. Mary's, 13 wins, 6 losses. And the Eaglets have won their last 6. As Catholic Central comes off that first loss of the season, and the hockey game is underway. Luca Naurato is getting the call in net tonight for Catholic Central. He's opposed by Michael Fett, who is the guy that Brian Cloneau loves to call on. He's their #1 guy, and they are without Mitchell Revay tonight, are the Eaglets. A disqualification in Orchard Lake St. Mary's game in the showcase over the weekend. Big heavy hit laid down in the corner by Kale Rogowski there on the end wall. Fired in front, Rogowski trying to get a piece of it. Jumping down the wall there is Curtin to play it in a little deeper, and Fett's got that one. So Fred Rogowski playing the body early on with that big size he's got.
Yeah, that's not a surprise. He's one of the players Coach Brandon Kalanicky singled out this week in our conference call with him. He's a lineman in football and brings some of that football mentality and physicality to the very first shift.
So the draw coming up here to the right of Fett. Both teams getting fresh lines out on the ice. Catholic Central comes in having scored 117 goals in their 21 games, averaging out to 5.5 per. They're giving up a minuscule 1.05. They've allowed 20 goals in 21 games as a puck is flipped into the CC bench area down below my vantage point.
Luca Naurato in goal for Catholic Central. Big, strong, athletic goalie. Plays the puck pretty well. And, you know, to be goalie sometimes in this Catholic Central team, you have to be mentally strong because some nights you don't face many shots. So you better be ready when they come your way.
Yeah, that's a good point, Fred. He's got 9 wins, a 1.10 goals against, and a save percentage of .927. What a punch they've got net. Kyle Moore's got 11 wins. He gets the night off. He played in that game on the weekend that they lost to Notre Dame Academy out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hit just inside the line, applied by the Shamrocks. That allows them to get out lighter. Played the body there. And now going back to try and play the puck is Hughes in the corner, the freshman #5 for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Eaglets are on it. They try to work it up the near side wall. Kept in at the line, though, here by Galda. Now along the far side half wall, played in deep by Jason Spiegel, the senior defenseman. Pretty calm down there on the CC bench so far, Fred, as they get a puck here inside of the zone. Good look, and Fett got a piece of that.
Yeah, they're fired up on the CC bench. Good change by Galda. They were able to make a change while having offensive pressure on Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and they continued that pressure after the change, which is always a good sign. Everybody's into it.
Yeah, Hughes back to get it now. Jacob Hughes, you don't see many freshmen playing on either one of these programs, but he's one that they really like, and he's slipping into a little bit more ice time, one would think, tonight without Mitchell Reve. Mentioned him being out for this hockey game. Played ahead at the line, turned over. They were looking for the diminutive one, number 65, Brennan Morgan there, couldn't find him.
Good things come in small packages, huh, Ben?
They sure do, and he is so much fun to watch. Just makes it happen. I mean, the kid plays with absolutely no fear, as we'll see as this game goes along. At the right point now, the Shamrocks send it across. Shot blocked over there, knocked away by their captain, Dugan Cretu. Now CC trying to catch Orchard Lake on a change. They don't. And a bouncing puck at center ice is played away by Griffin Friel. 3 gone here in the opening period. No score in the game. Second meeting of the season between these two always strong hockey programs here in the great state of Michigan. Back in deep behind Michael Fett. Something that Catholic Central wants to do. They want to play below the dots. They want to play below the goal line too. A part of their script that's worked for so many years under head coach Brandon Kalinicki. Now St. Mary's trying to get it to center and get this puck in. Backhand attempt there by Kirkhab. Didn't get in deep, but now it'll roll around to the near side. Shamrocks come away with it. Landon West, 20 goals on the season, 32 points. Their top scorer, dangerous all-around player, obviously, with those numbers. We're in the C for Catholic Central. Jumping down now is Spiegel. Look for Rogowski. Little deflection there. The puck knocked away by Orchard Lake's Reese Williams. They'll be counting on Williams more tonight, too. Again, without Reve in the lineup. Nifty move at center there as Matthew Waring comes in. Waring, one of the top goal scorers on this Orchard Lake St. Mary's team. It's been part of the recent success for St. Mary's. Fred, as we talked with Brian Cleno about that, they've got really 5, 6 guys that have been putting in goals. None of them at 10 yet, but all in the 9, 8, 7 range. So they've got depth throughout their lineup.
Yeah, it's scoring by committee for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. They don't have a West with 20 goals, but they've got a bunch of guys knocking on the door.
As Fett's got it covered here with 12:14 left here in the opening period. So St. Mary's, speaking of Michael Fett, that 6-game win streak we talked about, they've outscored the opposition in that stretch 23-10. They've allowed 1 goal 4 times in the 6-game win streak they're on, including 3 straight. Their last 3 of just 1 goal allowed. So they've been tidy in that part of the game. Draw controlled by Catholic Central. Left point now, they take a look. Down the wall, Brooks Rogowski swept it back in behind the goal for the Shamrocks.
Look at big 28, pretty good size for a 9th grader, huh?
Sure is. Again, you don't see many freshmen on either one of these programs, but yeah, he is a big young lad. So you figure he's what, 15? He's only going to get bigger. Here comes Catholic Central. Good look, punched away with a blocker there by Fett. Off the shot there, sent in by Nolan Galda. Narado out to slow it up. His brother Brandon, 20 years older, the interim head coach at the University of Michigan, and a CC alum as well. Catholic Central with 4 shots. Orchard Lake St. Mary's trying to get on the board in that department. Good look up the middle, deflected away. Now a foot race for the puck. Catholic Central gets to it first. Josh Granowitz with that shot attempt, number 13 for CC. Tightly contested there. Good play by Luke Rice defending the puck there. 22 for Orchard Lake. Rice trying to work it ahead for Brennan Morgan. Hop by the defenseman's stick at the line. Jackson Hare couldn't keep it in. Quick feed up the left wing side. The Shamrocks break back into the zone. St. Mary's looking to get something going offensively here. Brandon Morgan trying to get in on the puck. Both free. Kercab got it free, and Nerado will sweep it around up through the corner to try to break it out. Potential 2-on-1 here, but St. Mary's able to get back. Cannon Goff, a sophomore, hustled back, slowing that play. Centering attempt there off the mark. Spiegel throws one toward the net. Rebound chance, they score. Catholic Central's on the board. They draw first blood. Devish KC puts it away, and the Shamrocks, with 9:48 to go, have a 1-0 lead.
Right place, right time for the goal scorer. After a low shot, didn't get through all the way, got kicked back out the far side, the quiet area, and Michael Fett, who's looked comfortable in this game, one of those goals, you don't pin that one on the goalie. Nobody picked up KC on the weak side, and it was an easy backhander that he deposited the game's first goal into with.
Another chance there. Fett knocks away. Yeah, Spiegel, Jason Spiegel drawing the assist on it. So the Shamrocks on top here, 1-0. Previous meeting, scoreless after one. Shamrocks got 2 in the second in that one, but they've got the first one here tonight. Each team 4 games left in the regular season. Each of these teams in their respective divisions, teams that you expect to see playing into mid-March. Deep runs, they hope, in the upcoming MHSAA hockey playoffs. St. Mary's, it's been a struggle for them, Fred. They have not had much time in the O-zones. Catholic Central's done a lot of this so far.
And it's a Catholic Central team, when they do get in their own zone, they don't waste much time regrouping, east-west passes, D to D. They get it up in a hurry and get on the attack.
They're back to it here now. Little give and go. Good opportunity there on the shot that was sent in by Landon West. And a pad save made by Michael Fett in tight. Icing called here.
Well, you can see why that top line of Landon West, along with Rogowski and Urbane, they've got the chemistry, they've got the size of Rogowski, and they've got Landon West, who showed some solid speed on that early, almost breakaway opportunity he had, and obviously a player that's that good in terms of goal scoring. West on the season with 20 goals and 32 points. He's obviously good on his edges and very crafty with the puck as well.
He sure is. Special player they've got. Brandon Kalinicki, high praise for him. St. Mary's can't get it out that right side. They're knocked off the puck. Catholic Central, they keep that pressure on, but we're going to get a penalty called back behind the play here. And it's going to be a tripping call with 8:05 left in the opening period of play. So the penalty call, the tripping call there on Nolan Galda.
What's the old adage? Make sure the first penalty of the game is one that everyone in the rink agrees is a penalty. I think we all agree that was 2 for tripping.
No question about it. And Fred, this could be a situation here for Orchard Lake. Maybe a chance for them to get a little mojo on the offensive side. They've been in this end of the rink an awful lot. See what they do here with a man advantage. Carried in over the line by Marino Simone. And it gets by the point man on the near side. That's Waring. Leads them with 9 goals, does number 18. Half a minute gone here in the power play chance for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. First in the game for either team. Nerado comes out, gave it a little chip there. St. Mary's is on it. Trying to get set up here in this power play opportunity. At the line, challenge there. Good challenge by Schmidt. Schmidt stayed on the puck carrier, and I believe that puck, Fred, went into the bench area, did it not?
Not quite.
Okay.
You can see Catholic Central very aggressive on the PK. Anytime there's a bobble, loose puck, a pass that's not right tape to tape, they're going to attack and pressure, and it works to a neutral zone faceoff here.
Just over a minute to go now, and the power play chance for the Eaglets. They get it back in behind the net. Alex Connon, number 9, back there trying to track it. Got tied up with a CC player in the corner, Spiegel. They tangled up. Spiegel went down, but the Eaglets, they put it in front. Naranjo challenged that. Opportunity right there in front for the captain, Dugan Cretu. It's sent back down with 35 to go on the man advantage. CC's got a player down, way back behind the play, but St. Mary's a little bit sloppy with a pass, and they can't take advantage. Now bouncing puck here. Eaglets trying to keep it in, but it was touched with a high stick.
Should mention referees tonight are Brandon Bergasser and Dominic Arena, and the linesman is David Fleming. And you could see, you mentioned the play that Luca Naranjo broke up, and I call that hockey IQ.
Yep.
He didn't wait for the puck to get in front of him into the blue paint. He was proactive, got that stick out there and swept it away before he could get to the player in red.
So 24 seconds remain here in the Orchard Lake St. Mary's power play chance. D-zone draw, though, after the icing call. Now the Eaglets, maybe one last push here if they can work this puck up, but Catholic Central, their penalty kill numbers, mid-80s, good number. And they're going to be 1 for 1 here in another 2 seconds on the penalty kill in this one with just over 6 to play in the opening frame and a 1-0 Catholic Central lead. Icing called here.
Well, sometimes a team can get momentum from a good power play that doesn't wind up scoring, but you find your offensive rhythm and start moving that way. But on the other hand, the defensive team with a good penalty kill can generate momentum of its own, and I think that's what happened with this Catholic Central kill. And now they've got another offensive zone faceoff and their top offensive lineup.
Just one shot allowed on that power play for St. Mary's. Sent in down low and gobbled up by Michael Fett. He's got 8 wins on the year for the Eaglets. Leads them with a 2.63 goals against and a save percentage of .901. Back in behind the net, knocked down back there by Landon West. Centered from the right wing side there, it was Urbane. Now Rogowski up top. Oh, well over the net, but Fett gloves that one, holds it for a draw that'll come up to his left with 5:39 to play in the period.
And that's something you're going to see Michael Fett do a lot of, I would think, in this game. If you have an opportunity, shut the play down, especially against this line. Get organized, get the right matchup that the coaching staff wants out.
His head coach always has high praise for him. He said, look, he's our number one. He's strong mentally. He's a great kid, quiet kid, technically sound. He's not a big goaltender, Fred, by today's standards, although these kids are still in high school. 5'11" might be considered big to be in high school, but he's got a good skill set in his repertoire.
Yeah, even the barrier to entry to the junior ranks these days is 6'1",
right.
6'2", you think?
Yeah, yeah. Strong part of this Orchard Lake St. Mary's team. Mentioned coming in, 6 straight wins for them. Put together a pretty good run here after some bumps in the road, including the loss to Catholic Central back on January 7th. They had a 3-1 lead against Brother Rice and came up short, losing in overtime. They'll get another shot at them on Saturday in here. We'll have that game for you on the prep here as well, as Fett makes another save, gobbling that one up with 4:52 to go in period 1.
Yeah, as long as Michael Fett doesn't have to face a lot of rebound opportunities. You talk about puck luck, and Catholic Central had it on their first goal. A shot didn't get through, bounced to an area where KC could slam it in.
Player losing his helmet there, so the whistle immediately comes. That's the senior forward, Ryan Wantuck. Shots are 8-1 so far, Fred, in favor of the Shamrocks. Wantuck comes off.
He's having himself an outstanding season while West leads the team with 20 goals. Wantuck is the main setup man with 22 helpers. So, you know, they're not in the same line tonight, but they have been at points during the season.
It's one thing that Brandon Kalinicki and his staff has, and they've always had at Catholic Central, is plenty of depth in their program. Good to catch up with Brandon and talk with him prior to the game, and talk to both coaches earlier in the week, as we always do. And you and I called a few of Brandon's games back in the day when he played at Michigan, doing well as a head coach now.
And I don't think I ever had to suspend him either.
When you were commissioner of the North American Hockey League?
And he was a Cleveland Bear and led the league in scoring his last year junior.
Look at that. He was a player. Undersized guy, but he played like he was 6'5", didn't he?
Yeah.
Puck sent inside the Catholic Central zone here. 4:20 to go, though, but it's an icing call, and it's going to come back inside the St. Mary's end.
Well, you mentioned the depth of this Catholic Central team, and it's that time of year, regardless of whether you're in the NHL or Division I or Division III of Michigan high school. Guys are banged and bumped and bruised up, and you've got some guys in the lineup, and you can say if it's the playoffs, they'd be playing, but everybody's hurting a bit now, and Catholic Central has 2 or 3 of their regulars out of the lineup tonight.
Yep, they do. And mentioned Rivet being out for St. Mary's. Such a difference maker he is on the back end. Sent in, steered away by Fett. Came free onto the waiting stick of Jenner. Can't work it up the wall. Now they get it out to center, but it's right onto the waiting stick of Jackson Hare, the junior D, who fires it right back into the St. Mary's end.
It's a way to prevent an icing. Shoot it right at the D-man when you're on the wrong side of center.
That's right. The Eaglets can't get anything going here. Catholic Central with it. Head of steam for Joshua Granowitz. Cousin Nick, Michigan Wolverine. Gloved and held here by Michael Fett with 3:41 to go in period 1.
Well, you can see how difficult it is for Orchard Lake St. Mary's to generate any offense. Just the one shot against Luca Narado so far. And part of it, I mean, they can skate with him, but it's a big group on the back end for this Catholic Central team, and they are using their physicality to really have tight gaps and make sure they're getting a piece of any Eaglet puck carrier coming down their lane.
Off the draw. Trying to get something going here, but knocked down was the puck carrier there. That was Kirkab, who was dropped there by Gronzaleski. Known for his offense, but showing a nice piece of physical play there in the open ice. And that's offside at the line.
Good hard check delivered by Nate Gronzaleski, the senior defenseman, and he checked all the right boxes. Didn't elevate. Arms didn't come up. No contact to the head. Good check by the senior.
One of the leaders on that back end. Played back here onto the stick of Del Pizzo. Now it'll slide all the way back in behind St. Mary's goaltender Michael Fett, but the Shamrocks doing what they do, applying pressure back there. Namel in there, getting some help in there as well from the goal scorer, Devish KC, number 15. Shots are currently 10-1. St. Mary's coming out in front. Unable to get to that puck was Reese Williams, the defenseman. Now St. Mary's will try and get a line change going here, get at least part of it going as Brendan Morgan hops on and flies by you, Fred, down that left side. Shamrocks quickly moving ahead up the left wing side. Lay it back. Late man coming. Good save by Fett there. He came out the challenge there as Landon West, their sniper, is denied that time.
Yeah, Urbane pulled up, bought himself a little time to see who was coming late, and lo and behold, it was the team's leading goal scorer. As Landon West continues his hockey journey, he'll be finding ways to get that shot away a little bit quicker, I'm sure.
Here's Brendan Morgan on the puck. Folks, if you haven't seen 65 play, he's 5'2" and 127. Lead feed now for the Shamrocks. Got to be careful here. Hughes going to get a penalty. Delayed call. Eaglets trying to touch, and they do as Morgan gets it. Fred, would you call that or classify that as a good penalty to take?
I think so.
Yeah.
It's against a guy who scored 2 goals against Orchard Lake St. Mary's
Yep.
the last time these teams played. And it's 2 for holding. And what a great stretch pass that sprang Andrew Urbane. Just didn't quite have enough separation from the guy in the box. Jacob Hughes to pull away for a clean opportunity or maybe draw a penalty shot.
Yep. You got to look there at the profile of Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And how about that profile there? Pinging in Andrew Urbane inside of the line. Long-range wrister, snaps it home. 9 seconds into the power play. And with 1:43 to go in the period, Catholic Central leads at 2-0.
So 3rd goal of the season for Andrew Urbane against Orchard Lake St. Mary's. He had 2 back on January 7th. He's the guy that drew the penalty. They go on the power play. He drops back to play the point. And part of the Shamrock power play strategy is to put big number 27, the football player, Cale Rogowski, net front.
Yep.
And I'm sure Michael Fett never saw it. He heard it, hit iron on the way in.
You said it, partner. His 3rd against St. Mary's, his 16th of the season. Now you're in a situation here, if you're St. Mary's, you need to get out of this period with no further damage. And Fett with a save there and a good look from that right side dot by Nolan Galda. St. Mary's will change up their personnel with 1:21 remaining here in the opening period of play. In the corner, Wantuck with it, back behind the net, very patient with it. Trying to cycle it back there, looking for big Brooks Rogowski. St. Mary's, quick feed out ahead. They trying to hit their captain there on the move, but unable to get it to him. And it's back inside of their own zone. Shamrocks right there in perfect position defensively. Carrera trying to work it out the left side from the defensive position, turned over at center. Shamrocks are on it. Curtin gets it in deep. Half a minute to go now in the opening period. Catholic Central, they'll keep another puck in. Schmidt got to it, got it back in deep. Just hemming him in the zone. Final dozen seconds here in the opening frame. Taken away, another turnover. Fett made the stop there, and good look there. They had it. That was Joshua Granowitz. 4.5 seconds to go in the period.
Really solid road period by Catholic Central. You can see they're well coached. Anytime a defenseman pinches down, he knows he's got support. The high forward, the F3, is moving over to fill the defenseman's spot on the strong side of the puck.
So 4.5 seconds to go here. And St. Mary's just content to eat that one and get out of the opening period, allowing no further damage. A 2-0 lead for Catholic Central after the opening period of play. And the Shamrocks coming off that loss on Saturday, showing no ill effects of it at this point. So we will go down to Fred Pletch momentarily. Just get a look at the highlights from the opening period once Orchard Lake's coach makes his way in there. And Fred has the head coach now. Down to Fred, ice level.
Well, thanks, Ben. And Brian, your thoughts on that opening 20?
Very uninspiring for my team. It's really good to get anything going could get the puck deep. You know, we did a couple times, but you know, when there's one man going instead of two, not really much we can do. So we got to change that around.
How do you counter their forecheck? They seem really strong along the wall and not giving you many opportunities to get out of your zone.
Yeah, I think our D needs to start looking to the middle. We need to break the puck out through the center. Center needs to swing down low a little bit more.
And I thought Michael Fett had a real strong start. He was shutting plays down. He was strong, no rebounds. You can talk about maybe just some bad luck on that first goal, never got through, and then the second one, he never saw it at all.
Yeah, I think he was screened there, and like you said, he didn't see it. So we just we need to come out, more energy in the second, third, and get some pucks deep and get to work.
Orchard Lake St. Mary's head coach Brian Klanow, thanks for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Fred, and we'll step aside. The first period in the books. Catholic Central here on the road on top of Orchard Lake St. Mary's by a count of 2-0. Back with more after this short but important timeout. You're watching MHSAA hockey right here on the Prep.
Your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Welcome back to the Smack. Orchard Lake St. Mary's and Detroit Catholic Central, 2-0 Shamrocks, the #1 team in the land. 2-0 lead at the end of the first intermission. My name's Chad Bush. Welcome back. Now then, let's get to some of the sponsors that have made tonight possible. We want to thank our friends at Detail Express, a professional detailing company located at 1751 South Telegraph in Bloomfield Hills. With over 25 years of national and international experience, they provide the utmost quality and superior attention to detail your vehicle deserves. Give them a call today, 248-683-8885. Gracie's Jitsu. Let's not forget about our friends down the street, Certified Gracie's Jitsu Martial Arts Training School, located at 2965 Orchard Lake Road in Keego Harbor. Certified instructors that have undergone extensive training directly under the Gracie family to ensure that you are provided with the best possible learning environment on your path to Jitsu mastery. Call your school today. Get started on your 10-day free trial, 248-657-0121. Fish is what, on day 5 of your journey? How's it going thus far? Awesome. Fish says it's good. I believe it. Elvis the Cat Action Photography, specializing in local and touring artists, sports, and special events. Visit their site for a quote. They do great work. They're here tonight. ElvisTheCatPhotography.com. Couldn't do it without our friends at Siemens Services. And Siemens Services doing such great things. They do everything. They do painting specialists, they do commercial, they do residential, industrial, interior, exterior services. Call them today, 248-563-5399. Parking lot stripping, crack filling, all things we can all use. SiemensServices.com. El Camino Mexican Fare down the street in Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake Road. Some of the finest Mexican food you'll find Nice bistro just down the way. Our friends at Dairy Queen, thanks to the Williams family for their generous sponsorship. Go get Dairy Queen down the road. The coolest treats, upside down, served your way. Get it at Dairy Queen in Kego Harbor. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back in a moment. First intermission, 2-0. Number 1 Catholic Central over number 3 Orchard Lake St. Mary's in a fierce Central Division rivalry. Ben and Fred back in a moment. We're the Prep. Thanks for watching.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. We all know that our wives and daughters deserve special attention, but that's especially true when it comes to their knees. Do you know that females are at a 2 to 5 times risk compared to their male counterparts when it comes to blowing out their knees? It doesn't seem fair, but it's true. The reasons include the way females are made and the way they fire their muscles. But fortunately, there are injury prevention programs out there that can greatly decrease this risk of injury. And if you do know a female who blows out her ACL, don't despair. We have neat, innovative, minimally invasive ways to fix their knees and get them back onto the field. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
Are you prepared to be transformed into a better version of yourself? Shaped into a force that others can't imagine. We are part of something bigger. A force that never quits. America's Navy, forged by the sea. Check us out at Navy.com.
Every day is sweet when we're serving you Blizzard treats. Like M&M's, cookie dough, Reese's, and new Oreo fudge brownie. All made with our world-famous vanilla soft serve. Thanks for being our fans for all these years. And here's to many more. DQ, happy tastes good.
All right, this is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Welcome back to Orchard Lake St. Mary's. 2-0 Catholic Central on top. Want to thank our friends at Downey's, making kettle chips by hand in batches since 1984. They are proud to be family-owned, operated, and made right here in Waterford. Fred is standing by with the leading head coach at the end of the first intermission. Fred, take it away.
Well, thanks with Brandon Kalnicki. And Brandon always puts a smile on a coach's face when a depth guy opens the scoring in a game, and that was the case with Divish KC and his line.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we've talked a lot about our depth being a big part of our team and a big part of our success, and that's a good example of it, right? They don't necessarily score a lot of goals, and we don't have, you don't expect them, but they've scored some big goals, and this is a good example of that, especially in a game like this, to get out to a lead, especially coming from a guy that maybe isn't known to score a lot of goals, but that's good.
And then the guys who are known to score a lot of goals, power play took maybe 5 seconds to connect. Again, behind the bench, you're saying, yeah, that's why we practice it.
Right, absolutely. And we spent a lot of time practicing not only that, but our face-offs, right? And that's a big component of it. And certainly a start a power play, last thing you want to do is have an offensive zone face-off and then immediately cleared, and it, kind of sets your power play right back from the get-go. So to win the draw, get it up top, let us get situated, and when we have an opportunity to shoot, we're encouraging guys to do just that, and you can see why.
Luca Narado, a low shot game so far, maybe faced one or two. Kind of like some of the games you played in front of goalies at Michigan where they didn't get many shots. They better be in it mentally.
Right, and you know, I will say one thing I like about him and Kyle, our other goalie, is they both have been really good about that this year, is when it's not necessarily the shout total, but the prime opportunities that do come, and making sure they're ready to make a big save when they need to. And, you know, we ask our goalies to play the puck when, and Luca did that a few times that period really well, which, like I said, helps set us up, you know, moving the puck the other way.
What'd you tell the team in the room? Expect a push from the team in red?
Absolutely. We know they're going to push hard to start this period. We talked about, you know, from our angle is like, look, mentally it's the biggest challenge. Like, we had a really good period, successful period, liked everything we did. There's not a lot that we didn't like. It's just now you got to follow it up and do it again, right? And that's kind of the challenge with high school kids is consistency and being able to take that success and do it again.
Okay, Brandon, thanks for doing this.
Thanks for thinking me.
Great access. We appreciate both the coaches doing that throughout the game. Really gives some great perspective and insight. Freddie, how's the office down there for you tonight so far, man?
Well, getting back in, I guess. Haven't been in this situation since Big Ten championship game.
Okay.
At
Joe
Louis Arena, believe it or not.
Wow.
Back in 2017.
All right.
It's a fun spot. Stay alert.
Well, I think that was a great point made at the end there, and talking to head coach Brandon Kalanicky. You know that St. Mary's going to come for a push. They need to come for a push. What else did you take away from talking to both the coaches? Anything stands out, or pretty much status quo on both sides from what you heard?
Well, Eaglets coach Brian Clanow, as you know, he's kind of low-key, didn't come right out and say it. I think he was a little disappointed in the energy level, the way his team came out. You could say, are they not prepared? Well, they were ready to go. Sometimes you just can't get it going against a team as good as Catholic Central. So how much credit do you have to give to the team in blue?
Yeah, and we saw that our last broadcast in here a little bit with St. Mary's, and they did, as the game went on, they did come with a push, but this Catholic Central team, you just saw that play on the other side made by Kale Rogowski. That's the kind of stuff they're doing. Pressure in the puck, making life difficult. Icing's going to be called here with 1:06 gone in the period.
You noted one of the changes, or one of the differences in high school hockey from juniors and the pros is that on an icing, a team can still make defensive changes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that goes back to the days of concern for the health and welfare and well-being of the student athlete.
Yeah,
you know,
no doubt.
Guy gets cut out for a long shift. You don't want to make him vulnerable to anything.
You're right, exactly what it is. Shamrocks bank it to the near side point. Leiter trying to work it back down there for that big freshman Brooks Rogowski. Here comes St. Mary's now. 3-1 game last time these two teams met. Good opportunity there. Narado making just his second save of the game. Just one in the opening period. Chance there that the Eaglets would like to have back, I'm sure. It was a really good opportunity for Connon in front. Hot shot there, and it's gloved and held by Fett.
Yeah, maybe part of that push that Brandon Kalanicky was expecting as Orchard Lake St. Mary's gets as good a scoring chance as they've had in this game in the first couple of minutes of period number 2. So obviously, you know you're not going to score a lot against this Catholic Central team, so the next goal in this game looming very, very large.
You're not kidding. 20 goals allowed in 21 games for Catholic Central defensively. Centering attempt here, another opportunity in front. Got a couple of whacks at it in there to the Shamrocks. Now the puck is free. St. Mary's trying to work through, but they can't. Just tough to navigate through there. Luke Rice couldn't get through. Now the freshman Hughes has got it. Ahead for Brennan Morgan, given a bump there by Del Pizzo. And this one will be up and out of play off the stick there of Joshua Granowitz.
Well, you can tell the team concept. I know I'm obviously closer to the Catholic Central bench than Orchard Lake St. Mary's, but it's a team that has impressed me here through a period and some as having just as much pride in the defensive part of the game as in the scoring goals. So because sticks in the right lane, shot blocks, big hits generate just as big an uproar on this CC bench so far as a nice defensive play or a good scoring chance or a goal.
Starts at the top, right, with a guy we've talked about that we know well, Brandon Kalinicki, the way he played and the way he manages his team, and a team that's 20-1 entering play tonight. They haven't lost to a team from the state of Michigan this season.
Well, we all know who Brandon learned from, and that's Red Berenson. It was always, what can you do for the team? Never about you.
Yep.
What can you do for our team?
Yep, you're right. Played ahead. Now the Shamrocks will use the glass at center to try to play it back towards the St. Mary's line. They can't. Narado comes out, plays it on to the left side there, was looking for Griffin Friel. St. Mary's can't keep the puck in here. First one in your kitchen tonight, wasn't it?
Pretty close.
I love being down there. It's a great spot. And
protect the melon. You know the #1 rule down here.
That's right, man. Head on a swivel and protect it. You're not kidding about that. CC player went down right in front of you there, Friel. Now St. Mary's, here they come, trying to get something going, but the Shamrocks are back on it. Good work by Jackson Hare there along with Landon West to get that puck right back for the Shamrocks. Now inside of the St. Mary's zone. Rolled around to the right wing side. Taken away by CC and thrown to an open area. Waring here, he's got a, you think about taking a step there. I know he was at the end of his shift there as he just slung that down the ice for an icing call.
Well, and that's the difference, is that you can ice the puck and still saunter over to the bench because you know a fresh guy can replace you and you're organized in your own zone.
Yeah,
but yeah, he did look a little frustrated, did he not?
He did, yeah, he did. Draw in the D zone here for St. Mary's. 13-15 left here in period 2. Sophomore there getting the heave-ho from the dot, Julian Johnston, that St. Mary's coaching staff very high on him. Again, just a sophomore, but this kid's got a skill set they really like. Let's see if he can do anything here. Not going to do much there against Rogowski. Now West, little flip pass onto the line, thrown down into the slot, immediately taken away. CC right there to hammer it right back in deep. This is what they want. They want to pressure the puck, create turnovers, and make life miserable trying to get it out of the zone. This is West now, left it along the wall. Hare trying to flip a shot in, Johnston defending him, and it'll lift out and bounce out at center ice. Now a chance here for St. Mary's. Can they catch up to it? They center it, and they couldn't get anything developed out of that play, Fred. Their best chance here in the period.
Yeah, puck just got a little away from Matthew Morad.
CC, quick change out of them. They're in a hurry coming off the bench, and they get to this puck. That's why they were in a hurry. Trying to bank one in there down low was Brooks Rogowski.
Him and his brother have just dominated the wall.
They have.
Both periods. That last shift, Kale set his wingers and centerman West up a couple of times just by grinding it out and freeing the puck up for him.
Yeah, 27 and 28. The brothers Rogowski. Easy pass there, handled on right wing by Wantuk. Wantuk with a shot, missed the net. Kept alive, Spiegel, knocked down with not a high stick. Good play though, to back that down there by Ryan Wantuk. Battle continues in the corner. Now St. Mary's, here they come. Lead feed up the right wing side onto the stick of Hunter Morris. Morris tried to center it. Shamrocks, though, turn them right back. Out at center. Rolling, spinning puck played on at the line, onto the stick of Alex Conn, and Conn back in. Save made there as he was trying to go 5-hole on Narado. That one, he pinballed off a player. Now they center it. Eaglets with a shot. Narado had to be ready for that one. Steered into the corner. Starting to see a little bit more pressure here out of the team in red. Trying to work in the O zone. Del Pizzo Played it around on right wing, got it over there for Granowitz. Now they get it ahead onto the stick of Iasil. Iasil off the mark there. Eaglets come back. Good stick there by Catholic Central, denying that. Now a quick turn, back the other way. Iasil still with it, lays it back, late man coming. Good look off the iron there. It's 3-0. And Fett makes the stop there as they throw it in from the right side half wall. It's like we got a penalty coming up here. See the profile of Catholic Central. 20 state championships. Won the last 3 and prime for another run here as we've got a Catholic Central player slow to get up. Brandon Kalinicki making his way out there to check on his player. Look back at that sequence. There's the play in front where the player was taken down.
That was after the defenseman Joe Curtin joined the play, last guy in the rush, and a good job spotting him and finding a seam to get that pass across, and Curtin got a good shot away, everyone driving the net, and that's where the injury occurred.
So Williams, Reese Williams, the guilty one in the penalty box for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Now, let's remember, it took Catholic Central all of 9 seconds to score on their first power play. Power play that's in the mid-20s in terms of a percentage. Big moment in this game if you're Orchard Lake St. Mary's. You want to keep this 2-0. You don't want to see it go to 3. West is on it. Up top, he plays it. Near side, Gronzaleski has it. Crafty with a puck. Quick pass to West. Good challenge. Dompierre, good stick there, but they can't get it out of the zone. Good work there at the line by Kavik. More good work here by St. Mary's. They knock it outside of the zone. Now here they come, shorthanded. This is Kavik with a shot off the leg there of Urbane. Another penalty, delayed call here.
This one for roughing against Catholic Central.
Did you get a good look at that one down there, Fred, or not?
No, kind of behind the play.
Okay.
But penalty killing, it all starts with hard work, and Orchard Lake St. Mary's was dialed in to the work ethic on that PK after Catholic Central set up for the first 30 seconds or so. But again, any little bobble, you're pressuring the puck carrier. That's what the Eaglets did, and it paid off. They wound up with a rush and drew a penalty to create this 4-on-4 skating situation.
So 1:10 remaining in the first of the 2 penalties on the board. That one to Reese Williams. And barring any other penalties, it'll be about a 40-second power play for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. CC with it. Wantuck feeds the line. Hare snaps a shot down low, looking for a tip. Gathered in. That one off a skate or a stick by Curtin. And now St. Mary's. Reno Saman couldn't do anything with it. Good hustle coming back there by the Shamrocks. Under half a minute to go now, and the penalty on Reese Williams on Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Still a 2-0 lead for Catholic Central. Brooks Rogowski. He'll get it back, right circle, tries to work it down into the corner. Rogowski comes in and finds it. Gets it back, snaps a shot down low off the side of the goal. So now an abbreviated power play here for St. Mary's. 30, call it 30 seconds essentially. Once they get this puck here, we'll see what they can do with it. Not much so far. Kavik gets it ahead for Brennan Morgan. Morgan in over the line. Morgan knocked down there, took a shot inside the line, gets right back up. Takes another bump from Rogowski. Kavik trying to work it free in the corner. CC's got it. And it's outside of the line, and they're going to get the player that was in the box there, Nate Kronzaleski, back. He's a free man here with 7:35 to go in the period. St. Mary's can't get that in deep. Played ahead now, breaking in. Here comes Catholic Central. Big save from Beck there on Andrew Urbane. Fett ready again, down in front, got the pad down. And that time he denies Cale Rogowski. So the Shamrocks come with a couple of grade A chances there, Fred.
Yeah, Urbane on the breakaway. And it was a waiting game. And netminder Michael Fett, strong technically, we're told, and he was strong there. Made the blocker save, and then Rogowski on a goal mouth rebound tried to draw it across and slip it into the forehand, and Rhett with 2 big stops to keep this a 2-0 game.
Just over 7 to play in the middle period. Here come the Eaglets. And Luca Naranjo right up against the goal post. Wasn't fooled by that one at all.
Well, we've talked a little bit in this game about the brothers.
Yeah.
27 and 28. Cale Rogowski, a junior, and his younger brother Brooks, a freshman. And I don't think we can refer to them as football players. From what I've seen, they're just athletes. They're just good, strong, multi-sport athletes.
Totally agree. Cale on the offensive line on the Shamrock football team. But yeah, they are good athletes indeed, as Naranjo gobbles that one up. So a little bit more here in this second period. Orchard Lake St. Mary's putting on a little bit of a push here at times and moments here in the period. Down by 2 here. 6 straight wins coming in for Brian Clenau's team. Hughes at the line. That was off a shin pad. Shamrock's trying to hustle and jump on this opportunity. They get into it first, wrap it around. Dompierre over there for St. Mary's. Trying to work this puck out. He can't. Hughes, and he'll let his goaltender, Michael Fett, cover that one.
You mentioned Dompierre, the junior defenseman for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. He's going to bring a physical presence, especially with Rive out, the stalwart defenseman for this Orchard Lake St. Mary's team. So you take one guy out, and it's always an opportunity for others to shine. That's what a coaching staff hopes for. And Charlie Dompierre was one of the D-men singled out by Coach Brian Clenau as capable of stepping up and filling the shoes in the absence of Rive.
Yeah, he was, no doubt. Freddie, what are they telling him down there? Can you hear that?
I did not hear that.
All right. To the near side. Rolling puck through center. 6.5 to go here in the period. Shamrocks trying to work it up the right side. Didn't connect. They've got it. Get it inside of the zone now. St. Mary's trying to work it through center. Eaglets trying to come back. Got to be careful there. Is Rice in there. Hard chop there. A little bit physical on the puck carrier, but no penalty call. Orchard Lake St. Mary's trying to gather this puck again. Rice, senior forward on the body over there. Shamrocks come in. Centering attempt knocked away. They're on it. Brennan Morgan floats it into the bench and out of play with 5:51 left here in period 2.
So an update on what exactly was said to the benches, and it was basically just make sure you stay outside the lines on faceoff. So usually it's in a 2-and-2 system. It's the other linesman looking for encroachment. Here it's the referees. They saw guys were encroaching a little bit too much for their liking, so a warning issued, and obviously 2 minutes in the box would be the next step.
Yep. That is Fred Pletch down ice level. Ben Holden, all of our crew here on the prep. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast here tonight. 2 of the heavyweights in the great state of Michigan. Catholic Central and Orchard Lake St. Mary's in a 2-0 hockey game. Both goals for Catholic Central came in the opening period when they outshot St. Mary's 13-1 But the Eaglets, Fred, they've had their moments here. It looks like they're getting a little more comfortable and trying to fight through some things, but they're getting more chances here in the period.
Yeah, they've had real chances. They've had near chances, but one constant, Michael Lett continues to be the guy keeping them in this game. Michael Fett, I'm sorry.
Yep, he does, no doubt about it, as he made that stop there, punching that one away. Just over 5 to play in the period. Each team came in with 4 games left. They're all league games. Orchard Lake will be home on Saturday. We'll have that game for you against Brother Rice at 7:30. Try that little pass ahead for Saman there, unable to get it. Big night for the Orchard Lake program. Pink the rink night. Shamrocks ahead. Rogowski charging after that puck. 3 of them coming in, and West couldn't handle it. Probably haven't said that many times this season with his hands and his skill set. Here's a good look coming in. Missed the net. Fett came out to challenge there as the D-man jumped in. That's Gronzaleski. St. Mary's has got it. Glass and not out. Glove down by the younger Rogowski, the freshman. And that shot goes off the mark there by Brooks. CC with it, back in behind the goal. Galda up top with it to the line. Rogowski, chance there, and just out of the reach was Wontuck there. He wanted one, they want another one, and Fett comes up with another stop here with 4:04 to go.
Good one-timer by Wontuck. Found that quiet area in the slot right between the hash marks, the one-timer, and as a goalie, sometimes you think those one-timers, they want to beat you upstairs, go high glove, go high blocker. That was right along the ice, headed for the inside of the post, and real quick leg work by Fett.
Off the shin pad there, St. Mary's trying to work this puck and get it inside of the zone. It was Hunter Morris that blocked the shot. A lot of traffic there, they don't get it through. Galda started the play for CC, number 16. He's on left wing. Rogowski's shot like it was low and wide, but Fett makes no mistake. He's been very active. You talked to Brandon Kalinicki about his guy, Naurato, Luca Naurato, in the opening period. And sometimes it's tougher to be in those situations when you're not getting any shots. As you see here, the Fab Five for St. Mary's, and their goal scorers that lead the way, and they need some of those guys to step up here if they want to climb back into this game.
Yeah, that committee's got to meet soon.
Yeah, they do.
That scoring by committee.
They do, you're right. No question about it.
You know, you go down their roster in terms of players that are close to hitting double digits in goals, and they've got a few of them.
Right down in front of Fred's office. Now here's a chance. They break in. The Eaglets looking to get on the board, and Naurato comes up, makes a stop there on the junior Alex Connon. Just over 3 to play here in the period. St. Mary's trying to get on this puck again. They do. On the backhand. Tightly defended there. But they get Naurato to freeze it, and they'll get an ozone draw coming up here, Fred, with 3:01 to go in the second.
A couple of times this period, Alex Connon, who has 7 goals and 10 points in 20 games, has been able to break down the Catholic Central defender one-on-one. So Connon has those one-on-one skills. Hasn't been able to beat the 6'2" goalie Naurato yet.
Shots are 10-7 here in the period in favor of CC. But 7, here's Brendan Morgan trying to tee one up there. Backtracks, trying to play it up to the line. Look out here, a little backhand flip pass on, and here come the Shamrocks in, and Fett makes a great stop there on Andrew Urbane.
His second breakaway in the period after he had the power play goal late in the first.
2.5 to go in the period. Morgan sent it to Hughes behind the own goal, and he'll get it back. Discombobulated there, and Fred, he seems like he is seeing absolutely everything here in the second period.
Yeah, and the only two that have gotten past him are ones he did not see on the power play with 1:43 to go in the opening period. There was 3 players in front of him as the shot came from Urbane, high blocker side, right mid-stripe, and then the first goal that Casey scored, it was just kind of a broken play. Puck went to the weak side, and Fett was on the other side, just couldn't get across enough quickly in time.
Catholic Central off the draw. Up top, Hare. 50-50 puck. St. Mary's comes away with it. Reese Williams, top assist man on this St. Mary's team. Like to add to that total here in the late stages of period 2. Good job picking the pocket there by Kirkham. Gets it in deep on Luca Naranjo. Swept into the corner. Kirkham back over there on the half wall, engaged. Fight for the puck. Julian Johnston is there in the vicinity. Didn't get to it though for the Eaglets. Now he's got it on his stick. Quickly gives it up. Kirkham left it there. Johnston centers one, knocked away by CC. And now the Shamrocks will try to use a little speed and work it ahead, and they do. And over the line on the backhand. Good defensive work there, turned in to knock that puck away. 70 seconds to go now in this middle period. Reese Williams gets it, gets away from a couple of CC defenders. Williams flipped it in front. Good look in front there, looking for Kyle Kavik. The Eaglets turning, firing. Kavik off a leg, wants it back, gets it back, fires again, and Naranjo gobbles it up with 46.1 to play.
Well, the push that everyone is expecting has come in this second period, and Luca Naranjo has certainly had the answer. He sees what his counterpart Michael Fett's doing at the other end, and he didn't have to match him in the first period, but in the second period, he has matched Michael Fett save for save to keep this a 0 up on the Orchard Lake St. Mary's side of the scoreboard.
Well, you and I know how those goalies are. They're very competitive, and they're keeping an eye, no doubt, on one another, to your point. And so far, it's been a clean sheet for both goalies here in the period with 35 seconds left in it.
And they've both faced breakaways.
Yeah.
It's been a goaltender's battle in this second frame.
Sure has. Catholic Central, can they get a chance here? Final 25 seconds of the period. Kavik had it knocked away. He's a battler. They want a call for holding the stick. They don't get it. And the Shamrocks will turn and send one in on Fett. Final 10 here in the period. 2 CC players in the corner. And they're going to pin the Eaglets in here as time will expire. And we played 2 full periods here from Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Shots in the period, 12-9 in favor of Catholic Central in the second. Freddie, your thoughts on the hockey game through 2 here so far?
Well, after going down 2-0 after 20 minutes, Orchard Lake St. Mary's needed to come back with a much better effort in the second period, which they did, and don't have anything to show for it on the scoreboard, but it's still, they come out in the third period, 1 goal makes it a 1-shot game, as we're joined now by the head coach of Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And Brian, a much better effort in that second period for your team. Do you agree?
Yeah, we started getting some pucks in deep and sending 2 players. We had a good forecheck, and we had some good opportunities that period.
A guy that impressed me, has the ability to break down defenders one-on-one, is Alex Kahn, and number 9 had a couple of good chances.
Yeah, very good player, skilled, and he's deceptive in his play.
And anyone who's watching this game knows what Michael Fett has done so far in this game. Really kept you in that second period, because if they get one more, it could be deflating to your team.
No, he's playing very well. He's given us a chance.
That's all you can ask for.
That's right.
So what will you tell your team here at the intermission heading for the third? Obviously, you want to get the next one. You get the next one, it's game on.
We got to ramp it up just a little bit more, and we got to take care of our opportunities. We got to bury them.
Brian, thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
head coach of the Orchard Lake St. Mary's Eaglets, who've won 6 straight, but they're going to have to score a few goals to beat the #1 ranked CC Shamrocks tonight.
All right, Freddie, thanks. We'll step aside. Intermission coming your way here. We'll be back for what should be an exciting third period of hockey here between two of the very best teams here in the great state of Michigan, top-ranked Catholic Central and the Eaglets of Orchard Lake St. Mary's. The Shamrocks here on the road lead it 2-0 after 2.
Prepared to be transformed into a better version of yourself, shaped into a force that others can't imagine. We are part of something bigger. A force that never quits. America's Navy, forged by the sea. Check us out at Navy.com.
Now then, let's thank the folks for making all of this possible. Want to thank our friends at Downey's Potato Chips, making kettle chips by hand in small batches since 1984. Proud to be family-owned, family-operated, and made right here in Waterford, Michigan. Downey's Chips. Detail Express Automotive Appearance Center, a professional detailing company located at 1761 South Telegraph in Bluefield Hills with over 25 years of national and international experience. They provide the utmost quality and superior attention to detail your vehicle deserves. Give them a call today, 248-683-8885. Fish got his car detailed. It looks fresh. The Mustang 5.0 is rolling. We saw it coming up Telegraph earlier today. Want to thank our friends at El Camino, a Kego Harbor favorite. They specialize in locally sourced fresh Mexican street food, located at 2807 Orchard Lake Road in Kego Harbor. Visit them today. Gracie's Jitsu, certified Gracie's Jitsu martial arts training school, located at 2965 Orchard Lake Road in Kego Harbor. Certified instructors have undergone extensive training directly under the Gracie family to ensure that you are provided with the best possible learning environment on your path to Jitsu mastery. Call the school today and get started on your 10-day free trial, 248-657-0121. Fish continues to master his Jitsu and his path. He's on his 5-day experience right now. Elvis the Cat Photography, action photography, specializing in local and touring artists, sports, and special events. Visit their site for a quote, elvisthecatphotography.com. Want to thank our friends at Siemens Services, painting specialists, commercial, residential, and industrial. They do it all, interior, exterior services, maintenance, special coatings, seal coatings, parking lot stripping, and crack filling. SiemensServices.com. Get them at 248-563-5399. We'll be back in a moment to the smack in Orchard Lake. The Eaglets, can they rally in the third? Don't go anywhere. We're the Prep. Thanks for watching.
Dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, Unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Everywhere you look this time of year, people are running, and that's a great thing because running is an excellent exercise, especially for your cardiovascular and musculoskeletal systems. But the question is, are you running a safe running program? All too often, people are hobbled by things like shin splints and patellar tendonitis. But luckily, simple things like stretching and warm-up, the right running shoes, and realistic weekly mileages can keep you in your running game. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
Every day is sweet when we're serving you Blizzard treats. Like M&M's, cookie dough, Reese's, and new Oreo fudge brownie. All made with our world-famous vanilla soft serve. Thanks for being our fans for all these years. And here's to many more. DQ, happy tastes good.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
My dad and my grandfather are officials. I've grown up around officials and seeing how much they enjoy being part of the games. As a student athlete, I've always appreciated the people out there who are willing to give back to the kids. The Legacy program lets me officiate while I'm still in high school, working younger kids' games. Officiating gives me a better understanding of the game. I get to make some pretty good money for a high school kid, and I even get to spend some quality time with my dad. There's help wanted. Just whistle.
2-0 hockey game, just about set to begin the third period. Ben Holden, Fred Pletch, and Fred is down at ice level, great vantage point, and it makes it easy to talk to coaches, and he's got Brandon Kalnicki with him right now.
Well, thanks, Ben. And Brandon, you said it at the end of, or going into that second period, you expected a push, and your push stopper, the guy in goal, Luca Naranjo.
I mean, he had to make some saves, like we talked about at the end of the first, is you know, we didn't see a lot of action in that one, but we knew some were coming. And you could see some big point blank, grade A shots that had great chances to score. And fortunately for us, he was there, he was ready, he was focused, and made those saves. Because even though it felt like we were carrying the play, those go in. It's a big difference.
When we talked to you during the week, you touted the Rogowski brothers. One is a football player. These guys are just good athletes, good multi-sport athletes. They've impressed me.
Yeah, they are, and you can see that. They are just that. They're athletic players. They, you know, you can see they have a, I don't know what you call it, a gamemanship about them, right? Like the game, once the game is played, they have ability to make plays. You know, they just find the ability to find the moments to kind of step up with a good play, and they've been big contributors for us this year.
What do you want out of this third period?
I'd like us to show a little more composure. I thought the second period, as it went on, we started running around. We talked about giving up some of those chances that we just talked about. I'd like to certainly limit those. You know, we got a 2-goal lead, and at the end of the day, we need to play with composure. We need to, you know, make sure if they get anything, they earn it, not an unforced error, a bad read, or a bad pinch that gives up an odd man rush the other way. And I felt like there were some moments there where we kind of were our own worst enemy, if you will.
Thanks for doing this.
No, thanks again, guys.
Brandon Kalnicki, head coach of the Catholic Central Shamrocks. They were on a 20-game winning streak before they dropped their first game of the season to Notre Dame Academy of Green Bay on Saturday. 2-0 lead here, heading for the third, looking to return to winning form.
They are, Fred. Shots are 25-10, Catholic Central. As we look back at some of the key moving pictures throughout the hockey game here, and
skate in behind.
Michael Fett very busy in that second period, Fred. He was the difference. I mean, this game is 2-0 because of him. I mean, plays like that, he was unbelievable the entire second.
Yeah, a couple of breakaway stops on Andrew Urbane. And you could say that Urbane's had Fett's number this season with 3 goals in 2 games, but Fett can say, hey, look at my body of work too. I just stopped him twice on a breakaway. Maybe it stops playing a little showdown in that game at USA Hockey Arena back on January 7th. But we'll see. Brian Clanow of St. Mary's, he liked the way his team was getting up and down the ice in that second period. Now they know they need some sustained zone pressure. We'll see if they can make that happen against this very stingy CC squad.
Yep, they've allowed just 20 goals in 21 games coming in. That is Fred Plench. My name is Ben Holden. All of our crew. Appreciate everyone here at the Prep for making the broadcast possible. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you're watching tonight. With 2 of the longtime outstanding programs in the great state of Michigan in the high school ranks. Here's their top scorer, West, with it. Strides his way into the zone. Little move, got on tight there, and couldn't get the shot in towards Fett right at the end after all that. See his skill, his speed, his poise, everything he's got is top notch. Now St. Mary's looking to crack the goaltender, Luca Narado at the other end to get on the board here. Clean game too, Fred, just 2 penalties on each side in this game, so it's been a clean hockey game from that standpoint too.
Yeah, I think that's a sign of respect between these 2 teams, respect for the opposing power plays too. We saw what CC could do with a man advantage, striking just 5 seconds into the first penalty of the hockey game. But, they went on the power play.
What we got, Freddie? Too many men?
Too many men against Catholic Central.
Okay.
They beg to disagree. But the back referee saw it, called it, so opportunity knocks for Orchard Lake St. Mary's right now. A minute, or 2 minutes, minute 8 seconds into this third period, and a power play chance. We said all Orchard Lake St. Mary's needs is 1.
Of course, the old broadcast jinx. Just talking about the lack of penalties, and the Shamrocks get one there, and they're going to send into the box Andrew Urbane to serve it. So a massive moment here in this game, Fred, for the Eaglets of Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Off the draw. Rogowski waits for it, shovels one on the backhand out to center. See if the Eaglets can get set up. And a power play back early on in the game. They had an abbreviated power play in the second. Really didn't get much set up on either one here. Low shot punched away by Narado. Bodies into the corner. St. Mary's on the puck. They get it up top to the line to Pivot, and it's taken away, and Rogowski, he's going to try and come in shorthanded here. He'll get a good look, and getting a piece of that was fat, dangerous play. And a big-time stop once again for Michael Fett.
And it's the freshman testing him. Brooks Rogowski out in a penalty-killing role, and I like it. When he came across the blue line, he knew what he was doing. He was catching up to that puck, and he was taking his best shot, and he was trying to put his best shot through the back of the net.
You said it earlier, they are athletes. Nothing about them that's more clear than that, whatever the sport they're playing.
And athletes that are 6'3" in 9th grade. Never hurts, does it?
No, it doesn't. Here's a chance just wide on the glove side of Luca Narado. 60 seconds to go now here in a big power play chance for St. Mary's, but the Shamrocks, here they come again shorthanded. Great work out of them. That's Tyler O'Brien, the sophomore, doing some good work on the PK. Reese Williams now. Here come the Eaglets now. 35 seconds and counting to go now on the man advantage. Trying to carry that into the zone, unable to there. Knocked away by CC. Good stick there to knock it ahead and get it ahead onto the stick of Ryan Wontuck. Wontuck in! Fett made the stop, and it's across the line. but I believe they're going to say that this play was whistled dead. Fred, what are you hearing or seeing down there?
Well, referee's right behind the net, and he did not signal a goal.
Right.
Wontuck with the initial rush, and of course, regardless of what level you play at, you can't push the goalie and his pads into the net with the puck underneath them.
Right.
So maybe that's a factor in the referee's decision here, but Catholic Central has gone offensive on this penalty kill. Rogowski with the first chance, and then Wontuck on the partial break as he protected in the backhand, cutting in on the right side.
So the dying seconds here of this power play, under 15 to go in it for St. Mary's as we come up on the 3-minute mark here in the period. And Brandon Kalinicki's penalty kill unit looks like they're going to come out on top here again as the time has expired, and they're back to 5-on-5 here with 13:50 remaining here in regulation time.
By the way, Andrew Urbane out there on the left side now, 2 breakaways this game. I asked him, he was just in the box, do you have any breakaways the first game? He said no, but their guy's playing pretty well right now. Even he admits it.
See, you don't get that access anywhere else, but except right here on the prep for high school sports, especially here in high school hockey. Good stuff. 13:25 remaining in regulation time. St. Mary's, 2-goal deficit for them here. Two teams met just over a month ago. 3-1 win for Catholic Central with an empty netter. West, he's slowed a little bit. Julian Johnston gets in there, didn't get enough on it. Rogowski in the corner there. West was given a bump, and the player that bumped him was taken down there by Urbane. Urbane, one of the seniors on this Shamrock team. Now Brennan Morgan sweeps it in down low. Morgan trying to pressure the puck, pressure the defenseman there. His stick got tangled up. Good job by Morgan to not take a penalty there. St. Mary's clogged up, and now we got a penalty coming up here. Interference looks like, right, Fred?
Yeah. Good shift by Jackson Hare, the defenseman. Led the rush, coughed it up, came back, stripped the puck. Interference to call. So Catholic Central gets another whirl in the power play. O'Hare, one of the key cogs on the back end, of course, for this Catholic Central team. He'll come back out and play on this power play. This is the second unit out right now.
He and Curtin will man the points. Wontuck will take the draw here. Shamrocks control it, they'll go to work. Galda gets it back, playing catch there with a left point, that's Curtin. There, taking off the puck into the boards, and they force him back out to center. Turned over here onto the waiting stick there of Luke Rice. Had a pretty active game here tonight for Orchard Lake.
Made a pretty smart dump diagonally, and that allowed all 4 Eaglets players to change.
Yep. Kavic's out there. He's got good speed. Catches up to the CC puck carrier. Nice job. Takes out Wontuck. Still over a minute. 70 seconds, in fact, remaining in the power play here for Catholic Central. Massive kill here for St. Mary's. Taken away now. Now they got a chance. Breaking it short. Hit, they score! A snipe! Hunter Morris with 11 and a half to go in regulation time here in the third. It's 2-1.
A good read and good stick by Hunter Morris, and he makes no mistake, kind of fading right, goes cross body blocker side on Luca Narado, and that is the spark perhaps that this Orchard Lake St. Mary's team needed. Good read, good stick placement by the goal scorer. Morris was a little 8-foot pass that he picked off, and off to the races for the shorty.
16th point of the season for Hunter Morris, and it comes at a huge time here And it's a one-shot game, 2-1 here. Here's West, lays it back, still half a minute to go in the CC power play. St. Mary's has got it to a one-shot game here. Around it comes, it got by Landon West. Shamrocks out at center with it. Far side, they'll wrap it in deep. West getting down there and getting to it. Out in front, and there's Fett again. Coming up with the puck here with 12 seconds remaining in the Catholic Central power play.
Yeah, good stop by Fett on Ivasil, who took the centering pass, swiveled the hips, and by the time he did that, Fett had tracked the puck from the corner to the slot, and he was square. And when you're square, sometimes the shooter says he doesn't have as much, and wound up burying it onto the block M.
Knocked away by Spiegel at center for Catholic Central. Played back outside the line. Spiegel has it on his stick there.
See if this goal gives Orchard Lake St. Mary's a little confidence, maybe a little more poise with the puck.
They've worked hard for it. First period did not go their way at all in most aspects of that period, but in the second, it started to come with a little bit more push. As we tick down near 10 minutes remaining here in regulation time. Narado likes to come out, play the puck. Swept it up the near side. Spiegel to it, good little chip on. Good breakout for Catholic Central here. They get through. Chance never happened. Another chance, they overskate that one. It's 1 against 5 here, coming back the other way for St. Mary's as Connon brought that puck up ice. You gotta love his determination. Eaglets have it, Connon's down at the line. Good play there to knock it away by O'Brien. 24 in blue. 50-50 puck here on the near side. Eaglets are on it. Shamrocks feeling a little pressure there, Fred. Shots are 3-3 here so far in the third. The freshman Hughes slings a pass ahead. Intercepted. Now Rogowski thought he had something going. Hughes is there again. Hughes has seen a lot more ice time tonight. Top D for the Eaglets. Mitchell Reve out of the lineup tonight. They've had to step up as a group, has that D-core. Wrapped around, chipped ahead. Now Dom Pierre, he's part of it. Big play out of him back in the second period. Shamrocks trying to work it up this near side, unable to. Hot potato out there as Johnston tries to find it. He couldn't get a handle on it. To the line, they'll throw it in and calmly punched away down low by Narado. Now CC. Into the slot, off the stick there. The young man that opened the scoring. Devish KC back in the opening period. He and Urbane have the goals for Catholic Central. Now St. Mary's. Trying to turn and go. Narado will stick it and plate it. Keeping the play alive.
Well, there are certain points in any game, Ben, where momentum can change, and it's how do players emotionally handle those big moments. So coming off a shorthanded goal by Orchard Lake St. Mary's, they're energized, and you can see that Catholic Central on their bench, they're trying to bring that energy back to their side, that momentum back to their side of the ice.
Yeah, here comes St. Mary's again. Right in, chance, and Narado and a piece of that. Outstanding chance. Now Rogowski comes back the other way for CC, and he scores. Gets in tight, backhander goes, and Cale Rogowski gives the Shamrocks a 2-goal lead back. It's 3-1 with 7:19 to go in the third.
Orchard Lake St. Mary's, they were wondering if there should have been a penalty called on the rush previous to the goal by Rogowski. They're not making too much of an issue of it after the fact, but arms were up on the bench at the time. But what a play by Rogowski.
was, and he puts his team on top 3-1 here. Just over 7 minutes remaining in regulation time. See what the response is here from the team in red and white. Out to center and through center. Luka Pivic back to play it, couldn't keep control of it. Here's the younger Rogowski. This is Brooks Rogowski. Good stick in there tight by St. Mary's to take away that chance after a nice move. Pad save with the right pad there. They give it away at the line. Had to stick that one away. Did Michael Fett. Brooks Rogowski trying to keep it alive. Big 28. Threw it right up the slot though. Turnover. And it's loose. Brennan Morgan. He can't get it out. Backhanded into the corner there by Joe Curtin. Eaglets overskate that one. That allows CC to get it to the line. Try to keep the pressure on here. Chipped up the wall. Brennan Morgan in there. Watched there by Galda. Rubbed down and finally chipped through to get a little pressure and a change here for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Under 6 to go here in period 3, a 3-1 lead for Catholic Central.
You have to be impressed by Luca Nerato's puck handling ability.
Yeah.
Orchard Lake St. Mary's has to be really, really quick on their changes because they know the puck can get up the ice north 3 zones in a hurry.
Right. Yeah, it's been good, and 20 times the fun indeed. As you see there, 20 straight wins to begin the season, 20 goals allowed in 21 games coming into this game, and 20 goals scored by their captain, Landon West. Team that year in, year out in Division I in this state are usually picked as the favorite every single year. Shamrock's hair jumped down the wall. Dom Pierre's there for St. Mary's. Connon's pass was off the mark. Now CC coming right back in. Good set up there into the slot there for Sebastiano Ivasil. Worked in deep again. 50-50 puck. Who's going to win the battle? Diesel Carrera's over there, number 4 for St. Mary's. 5 to go here in the third. Dom Pierre knocked down by Connon. Connon plays it across the sheet. Good defensive work over there by Nick Leiter. St. Mary's has it again. Connon couldn't maintain possession of the puck. Came free to Jason Spiegel. And now Reese Williams will go back to play it in his own end.
See how aggressive Brian Klanow is in terms of pulling his goaltender, needing 2 to tie. This is the point now, 4 minutes or so, when at the pro levels, guys are pulling their goalie, and that's what the numbers, the analytics are telling them.
We saw it in a college game last weekend. Notre Dame, Michigan State pulled them with over 5 to go, right?
Yeah.
So it does happen, and we'll see if Ryan and his staff opts to do that here, but they're not going to do it right now, obviously, with a D-zone draw coming up, but maybe if they get this draw and get north up ice, it may happen.
Shamrocks have their top offensive unit out with Urbane, West, and Rogowski.
It's a good top unit.
It is. I like the chemistry on the line.
Right?
Rogowski provides the muscle, even though he's got 14 goals now.
Muscle and some touch.
Urbane, we've seen what he can do.
Yeah.
In terms of his offense, more assists than goals coming into this game, and then Landon West almost a goal a game.
Draw just outside the Catholic Central line. Under 4 to go here in period 3. Home team in red down by 2. It's 3-1. Landon West slowed up a little bit there by Kyle Kavik in the slot, picking his spot, missing the net though. That one zinged in there and off the mark by Urbane. West took a shot there, fights that off from Kavik. Urbane off the side of the net. Missing on that pass on the right wing side. It's It's going to be an icing call with 3:24 left here in regulation time.
And that's what Catholic Central's top line can do to you. When you're thinking offense, they've got you hemmed into your own zone, and that's 2 straight icings now against that line by Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and Brandon Kalnicki able to come back with the Wantuck line now.
Shamrocks win the draw. Funny deflection there, and went wide of the open side of the goal. And Fett calmly sees that one into the trapper. 6-game win streak coming in for St. Mary's. 3 games left for each of these teams after tonight. They're all league games. Saturday, Brother Rice in here for a rematch. 2nd meeting of the year between those two. St. Mary's will then play Port Huron Northern and then Cranbrook to close out the regular season. 3 minutes left here in the 3rd. Shamrocks stand them up at the line and quickly transition right back up ice. Here they come. Low shot pad save, another chance. Brooks Rogowski there, sent that one toward the crease. He's on it in the corner now. Gave it away to Julian Johnston. Johnston giving a rough ride into the half wall over there by Galda. This line throwing their weight around like the first line, or that line that was just out there as well, Fred. This is how you close out a hockey game.
Sure is, with Galda, Wantuck, and the younger Rogowski. They took a cue from that top line who just had the Eaglets hemmed in. And while we have an opportunity, Ben, I want to acknowledge just what a marvelous facility this is.
It is.
On the Orchard Lake St. Mary's campus.
Yeah.
Dedicated to the school, so you know that the student athletes take full advantage of it.
Yep. Terrific. Great facility, great staff, administration. Look out. It could have been a lot worse than it was. Waring, fortunate for that one. No ice here. Williams back to play it. Under 2 to go here in the 3rd. Catholic Central led 2-0 after 2 periods. Now leads at 3-1. Reese Williams circles the goal. Waring got 9 goals, lead their team. He's going to go off here. And look out here, 1-on-1. That one fired in, and Fett dodging the bullet there.
3rd breakaway of the game for Andrew Urbane. He's got the power play goal, but he could have a 4 spot.
Yep, just went out there and made a hit there out at center ice there, getting a piece of Dugan Kritsu. Here, the Catholic Central bench.
It's crunch time here. Everyone interested in crunching somebody on the other team.
Again, like I said, this is how you finish out a game, and Catholic Central putting on a clinic here in that department. Keeping the pressure on. Brandon Kalnicki, that's the way they want to play. They want to put pressure on, use their speed, use their size, their skill, and they've done it in pretty good form and fashion here tonight. Under 40 seconds left here in the game. Tied up. Half a minute left now. Shamrocks continuing to try to keep this puck in the zone. Sent down the ice. Then it'll be an icing call with 21.4 seconds left.
Well, if you're Brandon Kalnicki, other than the shorthanded goal, which was just an unforced error outside the offensive blue line, you have to be pretty pleased with what's transpired here tonight. Great first period. Good goaltending from Luca Naranjo in the 2nd period, and then closing things out here in the 3rd. And Brian Klanau's team is going to wind up with the same fate they suffered on January 7th.
Yeah, they are.
3-1 setback.
Yep, final 10 seconds. Catholic Central started the season 20-0. Lost over the weekend at the Trenton Showcase. They shake that off, and the Shamrocks improve to 21-1 on the season as they skate to a 3-1 win here tonight against Orchard Lake St. Mary's in a outstanding effort turned in, Fred, by Michael Fett. You see him there, and he really kept his team in this game. He kept his team in the game, but at the other end, Luca Naranjo, he gets the victory. That is his 10th win of the season. So he and Kyle Moore, the two goaltenders, 11 wins for Moore, 10 for Naranjo. All those guys will care about at the end of the season is that they're state champions once again, and that is certainly the goal each and every year for Catholic Central and for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. 6-game win streak for the Eaglets comes to an end as CC gets them for the second time this season by a final count of 3-1. So waiting Fred's interview with our player of the game. We'll get to that momentarily. You're going to bring him over, and Fred will talk with that young man. And it's going to be this will be a fun conversation. I know it will, between he and Fred, because Andrew Urbane had quite a hockey game here tonight. And just about set to have him on. A little hardware and a little ball cap as his teammates make their way past him down to their locker room. Fred, it's all you.
Well, thanks, Ben, with Andrew Urbane scoring your 16th goal of the season there in the first period. Did you think that would stand up as the game winner?
I was hoping not, but they battled back. We got our chances, didn't capitalize, but our goalie was there when we needed him, and we got our chances and ended up closing it out.
Yeah, Luca Naranjo in that second period, you knew a push was coming from Orchard Lake St. Mary's, did you not?
Oh, we knew they were going to battle back after the first. We were kind of all over him, so he's always been back there for us. So it's nice being able to get bailed out sometimes.
Now your goal, is that a set play off the power play? I know you're playing the point, you win the draw, get it back to you, and you have to wait for a little traffic to converge on the net.
I mean, not exactly. We were looking to kind of run the walls, but they left it open. So, I mean, Grons did a good job getting it back over to me, so it was nice that I could put it in.
I know you've got 3 goals against Orchard Lake St. Mary's on the season, 2 in that January 7th meeting. Just one of those things, sometimes against certain teams you just feel it?
I mean, I guess so. I don't know what else to say about it, but, when it's there, it's there. So it's good that I could capitalize on it.
You got 3, but I know when we talked briefly when you were in the box, their goalie, Fett, a pretty good goalie as well. I think you had, 3 breakaways on him tonight?
Something like that. I kind of want to forget about those, but, he's a good goalie. He kept them in the game, so it's good for him.
Andrew, 4 games left in the regular season. What are you guys looking for the rest of the way?
Just consistency, get going like that first period we had, kind of get that every time, and try to find another level going into the playoffs.
Okay, thanks for doing this. Go enjoy the win of your teammates.
Thank you.
The senior Andrew Urbane with his 16th goal of the season. It proves to be the game winner with 1:43 to go in period number 1. It came on the power play. The teams traded goals after that. 3-1 the final. Catholic Central over Orchard Lake St. Mary's for the second time this season. Same score back on January 7th at USA Hockey Arena on the Olympic sheet.
All right, Fred, thanks. Great stuff from Fred down there in the penalty box there all night. Great access down there and a great vantage point. I'll be back down there on Saturday. Evan Stockton will be back with us. We'll have Brother Ice and Orchard Lake St. Mary's, round 2 of that one. And we're looking forward to that. 7:30, big night here on the Orchard Lake St. Mary's campus. Pink the Rink night. So we'll look forward to seeing you and hope you enjoyed this one tonight. For all of our crew, we couldn't do it without him. Chad Bush and all of his gang here. And Fred Pletch, my broadcast partner here tonight. My name is Ben Holden saying thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. It was our pleasure to bring it to you. We'll see you again on Saturday for more high school hockey action. Another great matchup between Orchard Lake St. Mary's and the Warriors of Brother Ice. Until then, take care. We'll see you on Saturday night.